All right, folks, let's see if this one works. Let's see if this one works. Let's see. What a day. Okay. Looks like we're on one. Let's see if we're on Facebook. Hey. Pink. Well, that is weird. So now I'm getting this thing where like it won't take it off my Facebook page, like an old bit. That is interesting. It will not remove. Manage the post. Let's go ahead and... Oh, that's great. So I got Facebook. Go ahead and delete that post. You have to delete it from your stupid... That is so weird, folks. Hey, now you hear some music. Hey, let me know what the levels are like, Itchy. They're where I left them, so they should be okay, but you never know. We'll see how that goes. Gosh, folks, just I've had all sorts of weird technical issues the last couple days. So I was trying to use StreamYard so I could have people call in, but like there's no point to it. You know, Streamlabs lets me just stream from OBS, and OBS is great, but like I can't do multi-streaming, you know, like without a plugin, and it eats up a shitload of bandwidth, so that's not good. Whatever. I do have to get to work though, but I thought I would try something a little different, right? So how about, let's see here. Oh, you know what? I can't even do that. Let me add media file, source, new source, vid. Look at this. Look at this. It's already goofing up. Let's go ahead and add this behind me. So I could put on some old art I made in the background while I'm working. And I'll get longer videos. This was just gonna loop, you know. This is some old painting I did. But I figure maybe I can play old art videos while I'm drawing secret stuff, right? Great, that's not good on Twitch. YouTube. Let's go check on YouTube. I am working on comic book stuff for now. I can't stream. This is funny, this painting, man. Like I used to have to do this the hard way. Now I have a printer where I can just print out lines if I want to watercolor them. I don't have to do all this drawing twice thing. Load recent. Gotta draw a dinosaur head. I hate drawing dinosaurs. I don't think my writer knew that when I started this, but it's like I'm gonna have to tell him, hey, I don't like drawing dinosaurs. So once I get this rhythm down, I'm hoping in a week or so to be able to start doing a once a week in the mornings and at night. We'll do 2 separate streams, but like a sketches at breakfast and a sketches at dinner. And then I can start doing, you know, we can do like draw together, you know, draw alongs, like I can do caricatures, or we can do environmental sketches, or whatever. Or I haven't really talked about this much with anybody, but I draw the books digitally now. But so what I used to do was I would do like digital rough lines and stuff, and then print it out and draw it, and then scan that in and draw over my traditional lines digitally to clean them up, because my digital inks no good, folks. Sorry, my traditional inks are really rough. They're not professional, you know. But there's really no time for that. I just been going straight to a final finals, final digital inks. But doesn't mean I can't have traditional art. So what I've been doing is, since I would have just printed it out, drawn it, scanned it, traced it digitally for finals, now what I've been doing is drawing it all digitally, and then in my free time printing out those lines and doing traditionals over those lines anyway. So I have actual pages, but they don't affect my deadlines. They don't affect my deadlines. So a little backwards, but you get the same result, you know. Actually, you get a slightly better result because I'm going over the actual lines that are getting printed versus an in-between sort of a... My inks, man, my inks are more like people's rough pencils. I just don't draw on pencil, is what it comes down to. I just grew up drawing with pens, so like it doesn't... And it sounds weird, but just never have, so it's just odd. Whatever. But I just figure I'll just show everyone my process and then they can deal with it. Some people would be like, well, Rob, those aren't the actual ones that printed, but the pencils wouldn't have printed anyway. There would have been digital ink, so it's kind of irrelevant, you know, I think. But there's always gonna be one asshole out there who doesn't get it. I could care less, you know. But what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to start inking those traditionally here. I'll be able to do the pages that they've already shared. So they've already shared several pages at conventions and online, so I can just get those done. I already did the covers, so can't really share those. But there's plenty more to do. And then as the issues release, I can do them, you know, after the fact. In my free time. I don't think I'll be doing any more Saucys. I just don't like doing them anymore. I did one the other day and I just didn't have much fun. I don't know. I'm sort of done with that. Well, Berserk Boy released, so if you guys are interested in checking out a cool game, go check out Berserk Boy on the Nintendo Shop and on Steam. You know, I worked on it for off and on for about 3 years, but Zoo's been on it for 5. So. And I did a 1-hour art stream yesterday, so that's on the YouTube. If you guys want to see that, I did a concept art stream. Sometimes I'd really like to be able to just draw characters in like one pass, but there's always got to be like three passes. I get some people love drawing dinosaurs, but not me. Look at that, it didn't loop. Go to properties and set it to loop. There we go. Chrome porn. How do this work? Hey, what's up, everybody? I am drawing secret projects. Right now I'm drawing a comic book, so I thought I'd put up old drawings, me drawing while I work. If you guys want to chat, let me know. I'm currently working on spawn kills, every spawn. Almost done with the series, just got one more issue to go. One issue plus 5 pages, and the last 5 pages of the 4th issue. I'm just trying to get these done. And I'm currently drawing things I've just never drawn before. It's like, alright. It's kind of hard to be on a deadline when you're like, I don't know how to draw that. Guess I'll just figure it out. Hey, what's up, Dreadstar? On the YouTube. Nice to see the YouTube still getting some love. I'll be streaming more often, dude. We're gonna do some art stuff on there soon. I've just been figuring out how to make it all work with my comic book schedule. I am working it out. Yeah, I am a... 1 second. Hope you're doing well. I noticed your Twitter got axed. No, I deleted it. I deleted my Twitter. I will not be going back to that ever again. But I'm on everything else, you know. Not for me anymore. But I've been keeping busy, man. Like I said, I'm just trying to get the comic done. It was only supposed to be 3 issues, but they liked what they were doing so much. They're like, let's add 2 more. Recently gave me a follower on IG. Oh, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, I post all the time on IG. Lots of work in progress and stuff. So, I don't stream on IG because, like, it works better with vertical. And I don't... not doing it. It's not a pain. But I do put the 60-second podcast up from time to time on there. But so basically what it is I've been working on this comic, you know, for the past year, and like, I mean, I can't stream it, you know, so I figured I would just stream me sitting here at work if anyone wants to chat. And then I just tried today, hey, why don't we put some old art videos behind me while I work too, in case people get tired of looking at me just sitting here. This one will loop a bit, but I'll get a bigger video downloaded next time. It'd be nice to be able to share some of my older stuff, you know, that doesn't get any more views. Oh, damn, dude. Well, thank you, Dreadstar. I appreciate it. Do you draw? I'm assuming maybe you probably do, right? No, man, that's behind me. That's an old painting I did several years ago. It's a sped up video, so I'll get some videos and make them move not as fast, but I just use whatever I had on the hard drive. Oh, dude, nice, nice. Yeah, we just released Berserk Boy on the Switch, man. Nice. If you like Sonic Advance or Mega Man X, dude, somewhere in between those two things. I did like all the promotional art, a lot of the cutscenes, in-game character, you know, stuff with the art. The first thing I think is the last game. We haven't been part of a game since Crash 4. No, I did 4 months work on Overwatch 2. And they didn't use any of it. But, you know, it happened. I'm sure you know. Right now I'm drawing dinosaurs. I don't know why. They decided to add dinosaurs to the project. Thanks, John. And then I've got to draw an explosion. And I'm going to be honest, kind of something that I would do better in color, like black and white ink explosions. It's like I don't really consider myself an inker, so it's like getting this stuff down into solid ink sometimes. I'm like, man, that would just work better painted. Okay. I get it as close as I can, and when the colors get a hold of it, I'm like, let's do this to fix it. Let's do that to fix it. Right? Yeah. Like drawing fire is like another thing where I'm like, it just never, I mean, it's a drawing, and I've studied how everyone's done it, and I'm like, I'll just, as long as it's kind of moving, we'll get the rest in color. You know, I draw so much, but it's like effects, I just don't think effects look great. Unless you can really noodle like Todd can, you know? It's like, I'm not really good like ink noodlers, or if you could do like really good brush work, but more of like a technical line artist, like very clean, you know? Getting that emotion down is a challenge. It challenges me more than it should. I think sometimes people look at the sheer amount of stuff I draw, and I'm like, that wasn't hard. This little thing over here, that was hard. Like hands, I don't find hard. But toes, I don't enjoy drawing. I don't enjoy drawing toes. I'm just making feet solid shapes. Drawing ruffles. Oh yeah, like clothing and stuff. I get that. The clothing or like the potato chip ruffles. I don't think I've ever tried drawing this. But I was trying alternate different things to stream, you know, because of my inability to stream this art. And so, you know, we're doing like comic book, you know, reviews and look backs, but both honestly. See, I would have a much easier time drawing actual ruffles, the chips like that I can do. But I just couldn't get people on consistently enough to do it. You know, like Brandon works all kinds of hours now, so it's like impossible to have him on with any kind of regularity. Sometimes even at all, really. Any of y'all looking forward to that X-Men cartoon coming out later this month, man? I am. why I kept my Disney Plus subscription. Always fun to draw your whole arm when the microphone is right in the way. See, it doesn't actually want to rotate that way, does it? Ugh. Come on, buddy. We've got to work with them. It's like hard enough to do this with a full range of motion, let alone a limited range of motion. May just have to, as long as you guys can hear me well enough. Can you hear me well enough from this far? Because I need room to draw this. Supposed to speak right into the mic. But, you know. Trying. That nice big shadow on my face, though. That's great. See the chat box on the screen. Not really coming up very well, so we'll just minimize. We'll just minimize. Really? Oh, look, when I turn it off, it resets it. That's funny. I'll have to work that in later. Why I don't like drawing on an iPad, because I need a long range of motion when I draw, and the screen's too small for me. Too small. You know, now that Activision doesn't really exist the way it did, and Post for Bob has gone indie, I wonder, at what point is our NDA like done with? You know, 3 years good enough? 4 years? What is it? Those bottom parts of jaws, like when the mouth's open, you gotta draw that inner stuff, and then like, especially for dinosaurs. Like, yeah. Some stuff it's hard to imply because someone else has to color it, you know. They're just like, if I don't make that very specific, they're not going to know what to do when they get there. And they're going to be like, what did you mean by this section? I'm like, I don't know. Kind of hoping you'd just solve it. Creepy Door says, hey man, really love your work. Super stoked to see you working on Spawn Farm. Hey, thank you. Thank you. I am drawing it right now. Maybe you'll feel differently after you see it. Kidding. I appreciate it. I actually have a sequence with the scorch I'm going to draw here in about 2 pages. Creepydor asks, for the Hulk illustration in the back, are you using watercolors or ink washes? That little piece there, I did with watercolor. With Distress ink. Or it was either Distress ink, watercolor, or PH Martins. I couldn't remember. Probably PH Martins at the time. But they're all the same. It was just like whichever one was more intense, you know. So I think on this one I was trying PH Martins. Those things tend to fade, but I found that you can prevent the fading if you do like you got to do like 2 or 3 coats of 2 different kinds of sprays. people that paint with alcohol ink figured that one out. It's like you got to use a certain kind of spray and then a UV archive for archive. Let me look at it. When I get to the color, I'll tell you specifically what that is when I get there. Yeah, there's a little palette. That's... Look at me cleaning that up. That's PH Martins. PH Martins. I can see. Yep. A lot of those classic Marvel comics from the 70s were colored using those dyes. They just were never protected, so they faded. I don't even know if they had the kind of protection sprays in we have now. But so many people color with alcohol inks. Now, these days, I would probably just do it all in distress ink, because distress inks don't fade anyway. So I don't have to worry about it. Watercolor is great, but I just don't have to mix the colors with the distress inks or the PH Martins. I can just kind of swatch it. I mean, some of them you have to mix, but not the same. You know, I could just get consistent color swatches out of those. So, and because they're all eyedropper, I can just create drop codes. So I would go, okay, 1 drop to this plus 4 drops of water, 8 drops of water plus 1 drop that, and I could get the same color every time. With watercolor, it's like, you know, you sort of get there. I mean, it's great for like one-offs, but we want to constantly keep everything consistent. It's not so great. I definitely plan on doing more watercolory stuff. I just won't be doing all the drips and stuff, I think. I don't know. I kind of hit a limit with it. Like, works great for Hulks. Then when you start adding like people's faces and stuff, dude, like it can just make people look like they're bleeding. Oh, I see. Yeah, the dropper makes it more accurate for sure. I use watercolor tubes for color mix for the dropper. Right. I did the first Saucies all with real watercolors. So, like, I know, I mean, I have them. You know, I have all my sets, and I understand how to get what I want to get out of it. I do think, like, you know, sepias and stuff and neutral grays are way easier to deal with in watercolor than droppers, right? But if you find a good sepia or neutral gray you like, then you can just add 1 drop. Now, distress inks are more concentrated, so like 1 drop will get you a shitload of stuff, dude. Like, that kind of water it down. So like, I'll generally create like a 1 drop to like 8 drop water ratio. I don't know. It definitely changed. But what I like about distress inks are they have these weird. They were intended for crafts and stuff, so like they tend to dry with weird color changes, and I like it. I like that shift. So it doesn't change the intensity of the color, but it just adds these weird color. I would say chromatic aberrations. It's not chromatic aberration, but chromatic aberration. They have a dimensionality to them when they dry, which I think I prefer. Which I prefer over say P.H. Martin. P.H. Martin's pretty simple, pretty basic. Like what you see is kind of what you get. You can kind of see that there. I think that purple is a. No, that's not. Those are all P.H. Martin. But I've done others in distress. If I was going to do plein air painting, I would just take my watercolor. I wouldn't take the eyebrushes everywhere. Frankie asked me, what am I drawing? So, behind me is an old painting I did. I am currently working on Spawn Kills Every Spawn. It's a miniseries coming out later this year in the summer, I think July. And I can't stream anything I'm working on, obviously, because of NDAs. So, I thought I would at least stream me and then put some old art behind me while I'm working. If y'all want to chat or whatever. I'm currently drawing a dinosaur. And if you're like, Rob, have you ever drawn dinosaurs? Once, when I was doing a Bill Watterson test, or what do you call it? Like, I was doing an ink test on it. Redrawing a Bill Watterson dinosaur. Like, that's it. One time I've ever drawn dinosaurs. That's how comics are, man. They just throw you a bunch of shit you never drawn before and then like, good luck. What is the show going to... Oh, well, it's a comic book. It's a comic book. Comic book based in the world of Spawn, but it's a kind of a... I can't even... It's a parody comic, but it is its own universe. It's about the worst Spawn ever. He's like a little dude, like a little Invader Zim looking Spawn, and he wants to be the best Spawn, and rather than get good at it, he just decides to kill all the other Spawns to make him the best Spawn. Because why try? And how does the worst Spawn kill the best Spawns? Good question. Good question. It'll be 5 issues long. First issue ships in July. the time? 5:30. Got another 30 minutes. I gotta be honest, folks. Streaming kind of just makes me move a little faster. So, drawing comics can be incredibly... lonely is not quite the word, but isolated. I actually spent the first part of my art career in an art, like action art departments, you know? So it's like... Oh, I forgot to say, Frankie, that we just released a new video game on the Switch called Berserk Boy. So I did like a lot of the art on the game for that. Interested, you could check that one out on Steam and Nintendo Shop. Berserk Boy. Berserk Boy. It's like Sonic Advance, Sonic the Hedgehog meets Mega Man X. Hey, thanks, I am just here. Yeah, I know. I wish I could move that fast. That's 6 times speed. Cubador, how from start to finish? How long do the Saucy illustrations? Oh man, dude. Anywhere from at conventions, like I could do a convention one in about an hour. That one about 3 hours. A bigger one could take 6 to 8. I did some bigger 11 by 17 Saucys. But like I found that they just don't work well with like human faces. They work better with monsters or people wearing armor. You know, like I think what I'd have to do is I'd have to paint like the normal, the top face normal, and then pick a part of the body to kind of bleed out like it. Yeah, but I don't know, man. I did them for 5 years and I sort of hit like a wall on how to like get better at it. And it certainly didn't look good with women. Like I'd have to like basically do the top part normal and then toward the bottom kind of bleed. But then I'd have every now and then some asswipe would come on and go, oh, it looks like she's you know, gotten her period. And I'm like, fuck you, dude. You know, like shut up. So I don't know. And then complex characters like Judge Dredd who have like lots of armor and stuff, boots and stuff, man. I kind of made it work pretty good with Deathstroke. I did Deathstroke when I thought came on. Those took me about 12 hours to color. Slow, you know, it's slow. I'm much faster with color pencil. Like with color pencil, I really don't even have to guess. I can just kind of go straight at it. With these, sometimes you have to color swatch, you know what I mean? Like, how many is this? How many is that? How will it work? I'm hoping to find a way to merge maybe this with color pencil, or maybe I do like half of it color pencil and then pick a spot where it goes into Saucy. So, something I want to try when I get some free time. I have a printer now that prints pigmented ink, so I can just print out lines and they won't, when they get wet, they won't, what do you call it? They won't bleed. Yeah, on the DeviantArt profile. Yeah, they're all on the DeviantArt. So my hope is to find a way to merge the two, you know? But that's going to take... The cool part is now I can just print out some lines and then give it a go, you know? I thought the Darkstalkers one came out pretty nice. Those were some of the last ones. And I was working on the Batman ones on the brand. Yeah, the one where he's on the wire. But like again, that one took somewhere between 8 and 12 hours. But that's because I was doing the whole thing with a liner brush at the time too. Because I didn't know better, I was just using the liner brush. It's just hard because like I like armor and I like intricacies in the art, and watercolor doesn't really benefit that, right? You want kind of more open spaces, so it's like you get that to work, you know? Creepy Door says, I watched your streams while you drew the sky. Gave me courage to try watercolors. I understand when you use them like that super bright. Oh, thank you. Yeah, dude, definitely always experiment. I gotta tell you, I have so many experimental pieces, dude, lying around here. I'm always trying different things. Like, let's see if I can. Like, I was working on like caricatures, like 6-minute caricatures, right? Like somewhere between 6 and 15 minutes, and like one color, full color. Like, they're not that great, dude. But like, this was like a 6-minute one. Yeah, I don't even think it's gonna. Yeah, it's not gonna show up. Let me see if I can. Let me, see if I can add source. Let me just type this. Add source. Yeah, so like, you know, this is like one color. It's not that great, but this was like 6 minutes, you know? So like, and then this was like color pencil, 6 minute each on like I never post this stuff, you know? But I'm always experimenting, you know? So don't be afraid to try, you know? Like, you don't have to share everything with the world, you know? But most of my experiments fail. They're like, that's not good. You know, that did not work out the way I wanted. Capcom Dave says, all right, my kind of stream, and you don't have to be a Force Ghost. Keep it a secret. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I could definitely just do this on Jason's show, but I do like being a Force Ghost on the show. How many Force Ghosts are on Star Wars streams? People don't know. I do a Star Wars podcast called Making Star Wars. I have for the last 2.5 years. Different kind of Star Wars podcast. They got real scoops, real inside stuff, and we don't cause trouble. But I do a lot of stupid cartoons. It's more like Pee-wee's Playhouse than it is a news show. You know? It's kind of dumb. Yeah. I appreciate that you say that, but, you know. Oh, what's up, Dave? Man, appreciate it. I appreciate you saying that, Dave. You know, it's just funny today, man. It's like, you know, we get new people and they're like, oh, Rob doesn't like the prequels. I'm like, yeah, but I enjoyed how they were made. You know, like, I'm not here to tell you not to like them. I'm just telling you what I think. Here's why I think. Then they want to argue with me about art, you know, and I'm like, all right, you're right. You know, like, what do I know? What do I know about making images? You know, nothing. Well, why? Then they go, well, what do you know? And I'm like, well, you know, the guy who did all the lighting, who was in charge, right? Bruce Powell was in charge of the lighting for Revenge of the Sith. Bought the last 2 Saucys I ever did. He commissioned. And invited me to Lucasfilm. And I was like, oh man, I'll go, definitely. I just thought I'd go in the summer, and then the dude retired like 4 months later and didn't tell me he was retiring. So I was like, Bruce, you could have told me you retired. I would have gone immediately. I didn't know you weren't going to be there 6 months later. Good dude. I'm like, well, people who work at Lucasfilm and bought my art, but I will never work at Lucasfilm because I don't do the motion graphics, 3D thing. Yeah, Drew's a good dude though, man. He always wants me to do more Saucy work. He's a big fan, obviously. But it's like, until I find a way to make it work for me, I don't know. I think I'm going to do more controlled watercolor pieces first, and then come back to the drips. But all time. All time. The cool part about that scud, again, was that I was able to take the same lines that I did the actual commission with, just print them out and paint right over them. And they're good. All these things I used to have to like trace on the board or paper or whatever. It was a real pain. I appreciate it. Yeah, well, sometimes I feel I can't draw for shit out of it. You know, it's like those days you just gotta like tune that shit out and just be like, well, regardless, we gotta do our work, right? Regardless of how we feel about it. Still move the pencils forward. Like when I took this gig, I never drew and inked a whole comic book before. I've done pencils. I did some digital lines back in 2008, but I was like, I don't know. But I'm like, yeah, I'll take the gig. I'll do it. Then I'm like, how do I do this? Because I was unhappy with my digital inks. They were like a real pain to do for me. And I was like, well, this will force me to get creative, you know, because I'm not letting Todd down. I have gotten creative, folks. I have gotten creative, I'll tell you that. Wonderful 90s kind of cartoon stuff. Yeah, well, I'm a product of the 90s there. You know, that's a fact. People go, what are your who's your influences? I'm like, the 90s. Like, those are my influences. Rob, have you grown up? No. No. It's not that I don't like anything being made today, it's just when it comes to making things, it's like, well, I'd just rather make more of the kind of stuff I wanted to see when I was younger. For better or for worse. Dave says, no, I completely agree. I was born in 85, so I'm a bit younger, but my favorite memories in the 90s and early 2000s. Oh, 85. Right, so you were only 4 when Batman came out. I got you. You're 10 or 11 when I graduated high school. Got you. Just crazy, man. I turned 46 this year and I'm like, man, I don't feel 46. You know? I mean, am I looking 50? I guess I am, right? Like, I remember My parents didn't look so good in their 40s. Like, you know, I didn't tell them that. I was like, nah, Dad, you look great. I was like, you know, it's because I stay out the sun. Maybe it helps shave a few years, right? Don't really drink and I stay out the sun. Maybe that's the key to not completely withering. It will hit. Every person hits that one age where you're just like, oh, old now, right? You know who's in good shape is Todd, man. That guy still plays baseball all the time on his own, you know, still heavily into sports. So he's in his 60s, but he's in good shape. I just walk 3 miles in the morning before the podcast. In an hour. I do 3 miles an hour. I don't really play sports. Too many injuries. But what I was telling everyone else earlier was my process is so my process used to be I do digital roughies and then I would print them out and draw the lines on the paper using ink and red pencil, scan it in, turn the opacity down, and do final digital inks over that because I don't really do pencils, but I draw on pens, but they're rougher. If that makes sense. No time for that, by the way, with this book. So I've managed to just go from roughies to lines, and then I have some filters that turn those lines into inks, and then I do my ink textures. So I've saved myself a step, but I still want to be able to have the art. So now, as they release pages, I'm going to be printing out my lines and then traditionally drawing them on the boards. So I still have pages to sell. So a little bit of a backwards process, but it would have been the same result either way. And I did some tests. It's not that far off one way. In fact, these turned out looking a little better. But I know some people are like, but those aren't the ones in the book. I'm like, neither would the pencils. Like, the pencils wouldn't have been the ones in the book either. Like, when Capullo does pencils, someone inks it. They're not the same thing. And they're not always traditional ink. They're digital inks, you know. I own Capullo, I know. Like, there were no traditional inks for font. Those were all pencils. Capcom Day says, I've actually wondered how you draw the comments with this that pattern. Yeah, I just do them digitally now, but also because it's just easier on my eyes, dude. Like, I can draw, you know, and I can use my whole arm, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just, my inks are just, I'm not a good clean inker. I'm a sketchy guy. But digitally, I can get them super clean, you know? But I was doing it a little more difficultly. Is that a word, difficultly? For the first 2 issues, I was doing the lines, turning it down, and then using my inks and redrawing the whole page. Right? The way I would if I had traced my pencils, right? My pencil. But I figured out, I'm like, man, this is just, some of the shapes weren't looking as good as my roughs, by the way. So what I did is I figured out how to use adjustment layers to turn those lines into solid inks, and then I use my ink brushes over that to clean up and add texture and thick and thin, and that actually meant I could put more details on the page or more effort. I don't know. Like, I've actually been able to go from 2 pages a week to 3 or 4 a week because of it too. And I will share all that process once after the book is out. You know, we'll do videos and other stuff. I just had to come up with a lot of new little tricks, you know, to be like a one-man art studio. You know? I wish I was better. You know, guys like Brett Bean, man, those guys can just draw with inks and shit, dude. Brett can do that, and Shelby Robertson, man, that dude can just draw like with inks, and I'm always in awe of it, like Todd can, right? And I'm like, I can't do that. So I need to figure out a way to kind of get there. Alrighty. Well, folks, I think I'm at a good point here. I wish, man, this page is supposed to be done today, but technical issues. I will be streaming again, probably tomorrow. You know, we'll see. And then, like I said, I'm going to be streaming, inking those pages during the week too, or on the weekend, maybe on my day off or something. Maybe an hour at night, a couple times a week. Whenever I can, I'll work in a couple hours here and there. I'll probably call it with some of my sketches at breakfast or dinner or something like that, but I'm gonna make sure we can do some more regular art streams. And inking those pages is a great way to do that for me, because then I don't have to conjure up new art. So yeah, we'll be doing that soon. So appreciate you all hanging out. Definitely follow, like, leave a comment, blah 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 blah. Help the engagement. Always appreciate it. Yeah. Glad you got to chat with you. Pleasure and privilege. Ah, man, I appreciate you. You're super cool. So I will see you all soon. I'm gonna get out of here. Peace. Oh wait. There we go.